Happy Tuesday!
Hey guys.
We got Caesar with us.
He's making a special guest appearance.
Emotional support dog.
Yes. Oh man, it is. It's emotional.
You too.
We are going to talk about some emotions today. We are going to focus on a topic that I personally like to push to the side. And so we thought it would be great to bring some light on this in case other people feel the same way. So today we're talking about grief and really just how do we handle it and what are some ways that we can just look at it a little differently and find a way to maybe not paint such a negative perception around the idea of grieving.
Because everyone grieves in their own
Right.
way, and we
Yeah.
can't assume that they're going to grieve the same way that we do or for as long as we do. So really, just meeting someone where they're at, and sometimes, you can ask them, how can I support you? Because we might have a style that doesn't work for them. We might not, or like we want to ask a lot of questions, or we want to like always hang out with them, but maybe they don't like that. So, just really communicating with them, and if they don't want to communicate with you, then
It's cool.
step back. Okay,
And there's
I'm here if you need me.
And that's very important just because like she says, there's different love languages and like support languages
Yes.
as well, and just figuring out I don't know, this is not my subject.
This is a hard one.
This is a really hard one,
not
and
yet.
I'm working on it. But
Yes.
last year, 2017, I lost my dad. 2018, there was like 4 deaths in like the first 4 months, and I don't know. It's like it's waves. Some days, like we were talking yesterday, and some days you think that there would be the day it happened, that's your day to grieve, but
Right.
you don't get a choice, and
It's
comes
such
when it
an
wants.
interesting concept to me, I think,
Yeah.
because I personally will build so much up around a single day, and I'll be like, this is the day that I get to feel those emotions. And then that day will come, and I might not feel them.
Yeah,
I might just feel totally normal, and then maybe the next day, or a week later,
Yeah.
or maybe it's the week before. I mean, really, there's no rule to it. It just will, all of a sudden, I'll wake up to a movie reel of memories playing, and I'll experience sadness, and what I will want to do is to push it out right away and be like, I'm not feeling this, I'm not experiencing this, it's going to ruin my day, I'm going to drag others down, blah, 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 all of this negative self-talk that isn't true. And instead, for example, what I did yesterday was instead I said, okay, these feelings are here, they deserve a space, they're here for a reason, and I deserve to honor them and to experience them and to sit with them. And then once they passed, I felt lighter. I felt really good. I was like, okay, that time was there for me, and I really was able to be there for myself and show myself love and compassion and presence and get through it. And then afterwards, I went on to have honestly a really like connected day, almost giving myself that time, gave myself the opportunity to really be more present with others.
Have something to eat.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be back.
That was very cool.
She's honoring her body. With children, they're going to grieve differently because it's new for them. She had a good friend pass away, and it's been a little while. However, some days she'll just be like really quiet, and I'll be like, are you okay? What's going on? She'll say, I miss my friend. And you just just there for them. I know it's hard, but you just remember the good in, the memories.
And one thing I learned is that emotions are energy in motion. So if you try to hold it back, suppress it, like it's a thing that needs to move
Yeah.
through you, because I know at a very young age, I learned to suppress emotions, and I literally had to have someone tell me. I was talking to a mentor of mine, and I was like, well, whenever I feel sad, like, I start to cry, but then my natural reaction is just to choke back, them back, and then they're like, and then it's harder to cry, like, after that. And he texts me back, and he says, Lauren, that's not a natural effing reaction. And I'm like, oh, you know, like, it's not natural to choke back your emotions. We are emotional human beings. Energy and motion, it needs to move through you. Yes. So if it's coming up, let it out. Yeah. Or else it's going to stay stagnant and it's going to fester and then it's, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It can come out in other ways if you don't allow it to come out naturally.
Uh-huh. So. And for kids, like, even just like, I had an example where there was a little girl and she told me, you know, my doggy's in heaven, and she's like, my doggy went to heaven, and I was able to just relate. You know, I was like, and I could tell. So she was like, kind of just like, I could tell she was like thinking about it, and she's like, I miss my doggy. He's in heaven. I'm like, I have a doggy in heaven too. Maybe they're playing together. And you could see her little wheels turning, and she started thinking about it. And then I also told her, I was like, and my dad's up there too, and he's really good at taking care of doggies. And she goes, yeah, and my doggy's playing with, I don't remember the exact name, but baby Henry, because he's up in heaven too. And she was just able to, like, I told her, you know, oh, my dad loves kids too. So she was able to make a connection. And I think what I perceived, like, her face lit up a little bit, and it was almost like she felt like a comfort. Like, she wasn't so worried or anxious about what was happening up there. Right. Like, my doggy's in heaven. Isolating. Yeah, and it wasn't so isolating. She was like, I was able to connect with her on that and be like, oh my gosh, I have a doggy in heaven too. And I have a dad up there, and he can help with everything. And she was like, oh my gosh, cool.
And also, you know, you took the time to really understand her.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think some of us grew up where, you know, it's like, no, you don't need to cry. You know, you're fine. Go.
I'll give you a reason to cry.
And then you're like, okay, well, you associate crying with being a negative thing when it's not.
No, not at all.
Right.
It's okay to cry, you know?
It is 100% okay.
Absolutely, and I really like the idea, too, of just allowing children to be comfortable to speak about their grieving.
Yeah.
I think that can be so empowering in itself to just be in a place where you're comfortable talking about something that happened, that you're going through. And from an adult standpoint, sometimes, like, I'll put my feelings on others and think, like, well, they don't want to hear about this because it makes people uncomfortable. Yeah. But I'm the one that's deciding that, not them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So giving the children encouragement and like, yeah, well, you know, let's talk about it. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about
this? And
because it's natural, it happens. You're going to experience this. Everybody is. And so how do we make it a little bit easier?
And just really letting him speak. Like, I just let her, she told me about baby Henry. I don't know if that was his name, but the baby and her dog. And, like, I asked her other questions, too. Like, what was your dog's name? What was his favorite toy?
I love that.
Focusing on the good memories.
Yeah, and, like,
also,
the fun stuff.
Children might not want to talk about it, and that's okay, too. And, you know, whenever they're ready to, or maybe not ever, but, you know, you can do something else instead. And maybe relate to them. What did that person like to do? What did that?
Picture.
Yeah, I was right about to say that. You can draw a picture, or you can dance, or you know, do something fun that they enjoy to do together, and that way it's kind of like a little piece of them is still with you.
Connecting, and that goes along with what we were saying earlier about everyone having a different kids too. They grieve different grieving styles.
Yeah.
So you know, some kids like Avery just want to talk. Other kids don't want to talk. You know, and just letting them know, still letting them know you're there. Do you need a hug? Do you need to be alone? Would you like a teddy bear? You know, giving them different tools that can help them feel whatever they need to feel. And letting them know, like I tell my kids all the time, it's okay to be sad. Miss Lauren's sad sometimes.
Yeah.
So just letting them know. Like I even had another example. I had a girl I nanny for, and they were saying, goodbye to a family car, and I was watching the kids when mom and dad were getting a new car, and the little girl goes, have mommy say goodbye because I don't like goodbyes. They always make me sad. And I'm like, well, you know, it's okay to be sad. And like, we got to have this cute conversation about how it's okay to feel our feelings. So just really relating, like letting them know that they're not alone in the sadness, frustration, anger, whatever the feelings may be. I think that's huge, just letting them know, because it's comforting to me to know that I'm not alone. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even, you know, some adults may not have had this happen to them yet. They
Right.
might be 50 years old and still have never had anyone pass away that's close to them. So it really just depends on, you know, the person and their support system. And
Yeah.
all. That's really what we can do for children, is support them in the best way that we know how to meet where they are at in that moment.
yeah.
So we'd love to hear about your experience dealing with grief, your children's experience dealing with grief, what tools you've implemented, what worked for you. We love to hear about your own experiences. So
Yes.
please share them with us. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Have a great Tuesday.